Hey, my name is Joel, and welcome to my Path to Peak Performance podcast, where I talk about my path on the way to achieve peak performance. Currently focused on sports, specifically badminton and calisthenics, but there might be some other things in the future. Today, we are, as usual, going to talk about what happened in the past 2 weeks in relation to my badminton journey and then my calisthenics journey. However, since I have been in New Zealand basically this whole month, just came back 2 days ago, then we are maybe going to reflect a bit about that, not just in relation to badminton and calisthenics. Might be some interesting stuff. Alright, so badminton. Since in New Zealand I have been traveling like a road trip with a car, going around and looking at the beautiful nature, then I didn't really have opportunity to have regular badminton trainings. The thing that I mentioned in the previous episodes, what I was planning to maybe do, was to do some strengthening exercises for my ankle that had some troubles, a bit like Achilles, and then I also twisted that same ankle 2 weeks before the trip. However, I haven't done any extra exercises. The reason being that I noticed that the ankle hasn't really properly fully yet healed, and in addition to all the like hiking, etc., I didn't want to give it more stress. I felt that it's enough the way it has. So just a second. Yeah, Kitty is doing stuff. Anyway, short recap. This 2 weeks before going to the trip, when I twisted the ankle, I was initially afraid, but then it ended up that it's not that bad, and I was able to walk and run without feeling anything. However, when flying there, and New Zealand is basically on the other side of the globe, of our planet, I have had a long flight. So first 7 hours and then 17 hours in a row, just sitting like this, and lots of blood is then rushing down, and my specifically right leg, the one that had issues, has gotten swollen. Not the whole leg, just this like part of the ankle around where it twisted, etc. But the left one was fine, which indicates that there still might be something there going on. After the first night, so we came there, I don't know, during the day, but next day, I don't remember how it was during the day, but next day when I woke up, there was no swelling anymore. And then during that day, after spending an hour or so walking around and coming back home, there was a bit of swelling again. After a day or two, it hasn't repeated anymore. Of course, it was gone after you lay down and do nothing. But then after a day or two, I don't remember exactly, it hasn't even returned anymore after the day. But I have noticed that when we had maybe a bit longer hikes or something, that at the end of the day, the foot, the right one, the troubled one, had some, I wouldn't call it pain, but it felt more like the leg is a bit it's lacking strength. It's a bit harder to normally walk. It might sound bad when I say it like this, but it just felt like weakness in it, not sort of a pain. And it was fine the next day. As the trip progressed, towards the end of the trip, I haven't felt that basically at all anymore. However, when flying back, now the opposite way, 17 hours and then 7 hours, so 2 days ago, when I was back, then again that specific foot, right one, has swollen again, which was again a sign that probably things are still not perfectly fine. After some hours of laying back home, then everything was fine again, no swelling. And yesterday, so the day after I arrived, I actually went for my first badminton training, and after the training there was no swelling again, so it's better than when I was flying to New Zealand. However, it still seems that it's not perfectly fine, and it might take some time to fully recover. Since I noticed that, and yesterday on the first training, and especially since this first training after a while, I haven't went like again 100%. I'm still, like I was mentioning in last episode, focusing on quality of the shots, better positioning of myself, and etc. Choosing better shots so that I don't need to move like crazy all around. And this is something that I think will overall improve my badminton, overall my game. So yeah, I didn't feel any pain yesterday, everything was fine, but yeah, it is definitely noticeable that I haven't played for a while. More specifically on my legs. So after an hour and a half of badminton, they were like really dead tired, sore. Today I feel like more or less okay, but yeah, it felt like really I did something tough, but I haven't really moved that much. Again, that doesn't mean I haven't moved at all, just not nearly as close to as like crazy moving. Again, I know this is just words, but yeah, a lot less than my like full power, and still legs were like completely toasted, because yeah, I haven't played badminton for almost a month. But I haven't been doing like nothing. I was like regularly walking, hiking, etc. And still, you can see that this is not even close to the level of engagement for the legs as badminton, since they feel it right away. It also might be that it's like different movements and whatnot. But yeah, from the skills perspective, I feel it's not that bad. I didn't feel so comfy, let's say, with a racket, but I didn't feel like I like lost something much. I remember maybe like 2-3 years ago when I just was starting out in badminton, and when I played maybe like once a week, then if I had like 2 weeks break and I was just like missing every shuttle I was able to like hit. So it is definitely a big difference. So yeah, I will continue to try to like improve my game with trying to like minimize the movement, so that, because I think that this is overall going to improve my game even when I eventually add back like a bit more power into moving around. Plus I give time currently to the foot to properly heal, and let's see how it goes. From the competitions, I don't know like when is something next. I haven't checked what's local competitions for this next week at all, so we'll see like after that. From the international ones, there is Future Series in Helsinki, Finland, which is very close here to Tallinn, so it makes sense to go. It's in the end of April, so I have like 2 months till the competition. Should be enough for me to get back in the game, even improve my skills a lot, and for the foot to properly heal. But there is time, so let's see. From the calisthenics side, it hasn't really went well during the trip. If you were listening to previous podcasts, then you know that I was mentioning that I was planning like what kind of training to do, that I knew that I cannot do like full proper on training as I'm doing when I'm back home, but I was trying to like combine something so that I don't do too much, so I plan less how much I would be able to do there, definitely, but it's like still gives enough stimulus to the muscles, etc., so that I'm not like losing in strength at least. However, this minimum that I should definitely be able to do ended up being too much, and I have basically done just like one training in the beginning of the trip. After that, I was doing some like random handstands and L-seats and so forth, but not like real trainings. And the reason is not that I planned too much of training, or I don't know, that I was lazy or whatever, but I have screwed up a bit with planning of the trip, since New Zealand has so much stuff to see, I wanted to like squeeze in things, and I was really trying to like cut as well so that we don't have like crazy schedule. And schedule was not crazy in a way that we haven't like really been like running it. Oh, we need to go now. Like, there is time and so forth. Like when we went somewhere and was like looking around, it was like, yeah, you can like look around, take our time. But there was no time where you just, I don't know, that you usually have in a day where you have several hours of nothing planned. You're just doing like nothing, which you can usually use to, I don't know, sit on your phone, watch a TV show when you're home, or if you're like there, just like sit and marvel the beauty of the nature, go for like short mini walk. That's not a planned hike, but just to enjoy. And this would be the time when I would do my training. However, there was basically almost no that time. We were either on the road or watching some scenery and then sleep. There was not really time for like anything. And yes, if I was really trying to plan carefully, I would be able to like squeeze in an hour of training in some day, but I was imagining it differently, I messed up. Later on, when I will maybe in the end talk about the New Zealand trip, this way of planning the trip was not so great, not just from the training perspective, but yeah, from the training perspective, it's I haven't really trained for almost a month, and that's pretty bad. I will see next week when I start the trainings how it goes. So yeah, I arrived like on Thursday afternoon, and I don't know, for half an hour just like removed a bit stuff from the bags and then laid in bed and slept till next day. And then next day, Friday, yesterday, I was like resting and went just for badminton. So yeah, usually Saturday is my last day of training in a week. So I think that today I will just also like rest and just start from next week. First week I will take it a bit easier to like not kill myself right away. But yeah, I have probably fallen in strength, which is a shame. And recently, in the last, I don't know, months period, there has been this common theme of, I don't know, some injury, some trip, something where I a bit continue, progress a bit, and go back down, then progress a bit, and so forth. And yes, this is definitely not something that I would like that it goes that way. However, these are things that usually happen, and like this you can see that it's normal. It's not always sunshine and rainbows and you always go forward, everything is improving and never setbacks. Usually those are not the things that you see when you watch your favorite these like top athletes who are already like high somewhere where I want to get. You see them doing these super amazing things and admire them, while I have also had probably tough times when progressing to get there. It wasn't just like, oh, every training is great, no skippings, nothing. And despite that, they reached that level. Well, you haven't seen their stories, since usually their content is popular after they can show you cool stuff. But let's see in a year or two or something when I will be able to do at least one of those cool things, hopefully, that even though you have these setbacks, that you do get there. So no point in dwelling now on what has happened, to cry in a corner. There is no going forward like that. Things have happened as they did. We cannot change them. We can see what we can learn from them so that we do better next time. But there is just going forward, and what we do now will determine how tomorrow looks like. Yeah, so overall, not much progress with any of the sports stuff. Lots of like philosophy a bit in today's episode. But for the end, I can talk a bit about New Zealand stuff. So the country is really beautiful. There is so much stuff to see. And if you do go visit, and I definitely recommend you to, then plan a lot more chillful time. Even if you think that you have enough, that you can always take it slow, take it easy. The thing that was going through my mind when I was thinking like how I planned, I definitely didn't want that we are like crazy in a rush, but I didn't want that we have like a day where we didn't have anything planned, because then I was thinking we're just wasting these days. There is so much stuff to see. Let's just put things in. But exactly because of that, there are so much stuff to see. Even if you don't plan anything, you will have something to do during the day. You can take it easy, wake up a bit later, have a more chillful breakfast, go for a random walk around, just marvel the nature, maybe do random activity without planning it, maybe do a training that I didn't have time to do. So yeah, these days are important, and even besides the training and whatnot, I feel that these days are important for you to actually feel this like enjoyment of these amazing things that you see. Otherwise, you have like cool stuff you see and cool stuff you see and cool stuff you see, and you're just like going through them from one to the next, and you don't have this like time to process and experience. Even if you are present in the moment and experiencing it, usually you, well, at least me, and it needs some time like after it where you can reflect back, like even without consciously thinking about your brain does it in the background to experience and relive this and really like get into it, to feel like, wow, what are these awesome things that you have seen, and then go to the next one, and not just like not having this like time in between. I think that's like really important, regardless of whether you would do training in that time or not. So maybe some lesson that might be useful for some of you for your next trips. Anyway, I think this is enough for today. I'll see you in 2 weeks with hopefully some good news about how training is progressing. Ciao.